Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my humble obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Before reciting Srimad Bhagvatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagvatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Srimad Bhagvatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Granth Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 2. Hiranyakashipu, the king of the demons. So, thank you for joining. Let's read the summary.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Chapter 2, Hiranyakashipu, king of the demons. As described in this chapter, after the annihilation of Hiranyaksha, Hiranyaksha's sons and his brother Hiranyakashipu were very much aggrieved. Hiranyakashipu reacted very sinfully by trying to diminish the religious activities of people in general. However, he instructed his nephews about a history just to diminish their aggrievement. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as the boar and killed Hiranyakashipu's brother Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu was very much aggrieved. In anger, he accused the Supreme Personality of Godhead of being partial to his devotees and derided the Lord's appearance as Varaha to kill his brother. He began to agitate all the demons and Rakshasas and disturbed the ritualistic ceremonies of the peaceful sages and other inhabitants of earth. For want of the performance of yajna sacrifice, the demigods began wandering unseen on earth. After finishing the ritualistic funeral ceremonies of his brother, Hiranyakashipu began speaking to his nephews, quoting from the Shastras about the truth of life. To pacify them, he spoke as follows. My dear nephews, for heroes to die before the enemy is glorious. According to their different fruitive activities, living entities come together within this material world and are again separated by the laws of nature. We should always know, however, that the spirit soul, which is different from the body, is eternal, inadjustable, pure, all-pervading, and aware of everything. When bound by the material energy, the soul takes birth in higher or lower species of life according to varying association, and in this way receives various types of bodies in which to suffer or enjoy. One's affliction by the conditions of material existence is the cause of happiness and distress. There are no other causes, and one should not be aggrieved upon seeing the superficial actions of the karma. Hiranyakashipu then related a historical incident concerning a king Suyagya who resided in the country named Ushinar. When the king was killed, his queens, overwhelmed with grief, received instructions which Hiranyakashipu quoted to his nephews. Hiranyakashipu related an account of a Kulinga bird pierced by the arrow of a hunter while lamenting for his wife, who had also been shot by the same hunter. By narrating these stories, Hiranyakashipu pacified his nephews and other relatives and relieved them of lamentation. Thus, having been pacified, Diti and Rushabhanu, Hiranyakashipu's mother and sister-in-law, engaged their minds in spiritual understanding.
Thank you so much. So, we are moving to the chapter 2 of Canto 7. And Maharaj Yudhishthira is very eager to know about the inimical or enmity between the father and the son, namely Hiranyakashipu and Parikshit. So this chapter is opening up that scene of that drama behind Hiranyakashipu, how he is torturing and how he has so much power, and how he is speaking such nice philosophy about the eternity of the soul and the karma, etc., all the topics of Bhagavad Gita, which shows that demons also have a lot of knowledge, but they, having knowledge and not applying it or using it against Krishna is demoniac. Diti also we saw in chapter 18, last canto, when he was talking before asking Kashyap Muni about the boon or the child to kill Indra, she was thinking that Indra is the cause of death, that Indra is the cause of the problem. She knew very well about the eternity of the soul, etc. So we will go in greater detail about how Hiranyakashipu is pacifying the loss of Hiranyaksha, his brother, to his nephews and sister-in-law, etc. So let's start this wonderful chapter. Text number 1. Prabir Prabhu, do you want to start? Vamsi Vilas Prabhu. Haribol, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Okay, you want to start, Sudhir Prabhu?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 1. Shri Narada Vacha Pratyir Evam Vinihate Harina Krodha Murtina Hiranyakashipu Rajan Prayatpaya Rusa Suja. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Narada Muni said, My dear King, Yudhishthira, when Lord Vishnu, in the form of Varaha, the boar, killed Hiranyaksha, Hiranyaksha's brother Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry and began to lament. Yudhishthira had inquired from Narada Muni why Hiranyakashipu was so envious of his own son Prahlada. Narada Muni began narrating the story by explaining how Hiranyakashipu had become a staunch enemy of Lord Vishnu. So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, so as you rightly explained, so Yudhishthira was very keen to know why Lord Vishnu, as in the form of Varaha, killed Hiranyaksha, and how Hiranyakashipu was very, very much envious of his own son. And we can see here that, Narada Muni is narrating all this to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Sorry, narrating the story of how Hiranyakashipu is being staunch enemy. So we can see that how Jaya and Vijay started as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu started their journey of their 3 lifetimes. Please add, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So Hiranyaksha's killing, we read in Canto 3, the Lord's incarnation as Varahadev, the boar incarnation. So in this canto, multiple chapters are focused on the pastime of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj, which is very, very special, very, very special for us. Why? Because Lord Chaitanya himself showed by his example. Apne achara jivera prabhula sikhai. He showed by his own example to the jivas. Now, who amongst us here, does not know the story of Hiranyakashipu killing and Prahlad Maharaj being devotee and how he was tortured, etc. So let's, I know it's hard, but let's kind of reprogram ourselves if we already go into the pastime, oh, I already know what's going to happen, I already know Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj will be tortured, and then Nrsimhadev will appear, Hiranyakashipu will ask for multiple boons, and day, night, all that stuff, then we will not be able to relish it. So let's empty ourselves completely as we are going into this chapter, and not just this chapter, we are going into a series of chapters. This will continue for next 8-9 chapters actually. Actually, chapter 9 also is Prahlad Maharaj pacifying. Chapter 10 also. So until chapter 10, I believe, this is going on. So we just started. We just we have not yet have the appetizer. So there is a lot more. We will be able to relish that when we go with that inquisitiveness and eagerness and empty ourselves as we are entering into this special section of Bhagavatam. That's my humble request or prayer to all and myself also. And let's pray to Krishna so that we can relish it as Lord Chaitanya used to relish it, hearing it from his close associates again and again, hundreds of times. He never felt that, oh, I already know this story. Why is move? Tell me something new. This desire for something new is not a very healthy. We have to absorb into the pastime. Every year, devotees do drama or some, Nrsimhadev's appearance, etc. It's not that Nrsimhadev appears from one pillar and next time he appears from, fire, or next time he appears from some, food or something. He appears from the pillar only. The pastime won't change, but the eagerness and the receptiveness of a devotee will help him or her to receive it differently, as we discussed in the last chapter. So let's completely receive it with a dry sponge mentality, with the empty glass mentality. Then only we'll be able to fill our heart, the chambers of our heart, with the nectar of this Krishna Katha and this special section, which was very dear to Lord Chaitanya. There are 11 chapters. We have just touched one chapter. So let's start this text number 2. Would someone like to read, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can read. Thank you very much. Text 2. Aha chedam rusha purna sandasta dasana chadha kopo javala pyam chakshurpyam nirikan dumran ambaram. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Filled with rage and biting his lips, Hiranyakashipu gazed at the sky with eyes that blazed in anger, making the whole sky smoky. Thus he began to speak. Purport. As usual, the demon is envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and inimical towards him. These were Hiranyakashipu's external bodily features as he considered how to kill Lord Vishnu and devastate his kingdom Vaikuntha Loka. So this verse is telling us about the anger of Hiranyakashipu, because he is very powerful. Even with his gazing to the sky, it became smoky. And we know the Lord finds a person who to relish his own fighting. So we see here that Hiranyakashipu is very powerful, and the Lord is going to have a good fight with Hiranyakashipu because he is very powerful too. And in this verse we see how anger can really spoil the atmosphere, and the very fact that he feels that he can harm Lord Vishnu shows how much of a fool number one he is, and thinking that he can bring any misery to Vaikuntha Loka, because Vaikuntha means no misery, not like Martya Loka, or this material world is full of misery, but Vaikuntha is no misery. Thank you, Prabhuji. Please, if you'd like to add or correct.
Thank you, Prabhu. So the root cause of all envy is the envy towards the Supreme Lord. And Hiranyakashipu was personifying that. Vishnu Bhakta, Deva, and Viparita Asura. The devotees of the Lord are divine. And Viparita, or opposite, are the demoniac. They have this envious mentality towards the Lord. Okay, let's see what happened about his envy and what he did after that.
Haribo, Hare Krishna. Can you hear me? This is Bhadra. Dandavat everybody. There are a few points here. The first is the last shloka of the first chapter. Yudhishthira Maharaj is more interested in hearing how the Prahlad Maharaj was how he was so concentrating on Achyuta. That word is used. How he was completely concentrating on Achyuta. That was one thing. So devotee is always interested in hearing about the devotees, how the other devotees gone through so difficulty and how he has passed through those difficulties. So that was his main concern. That's what Yudhishthira Maharaj, being a devotee, that's what he wanted to hear. Second thing is in the first sloka. Here it's mentioned that he hated the Prahlad. Why he hated the Prahlad? Because, I mean, we read more as you describe 11 in 9 or 10 chapter. But the main point was he already hated Vishnu because Vishnu had killed his brother Hiranyaksha. So how that hate he had towards the Vishnu, he's transferring that hate towards his son, who is the worshipper of Vishnu. And this happens in the material world also. When something goes wrong with someone and some other person is on the same path going toward that person, then that person is going to hate that person also, and this happens in material world. So here is the Hiranyakashipu. He's doing the same thing. Because Vishnu is his enemy because he had killed Hiranya, his brother. So now his son is worshipping Vishnu. So he wants to hate him and kill him. And in this second sloka, when he is looking up, means he is aware. He's looking up the sky, means looking towards Vaikuntha. He's looking up, he's looking at the Vaikuntha, abode of the Vishnu, and thinking that I will destroy Vishnu and his abode with my hands. He's thinking like that in his mind. And that's why he's looking up. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Subrat Prabhu, you want to read the next verse?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna devotees. Nalotmana. Text 3. Karalo damstroga drisya dusplexya dukoti mukha solam udyamya sadasi danaban idam abravit. Translation by Divanga Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada kids are exhibiting his terrible teeth, fierce
glands and frowning eyebrows, terrible to see. He took up his weapon, a trident, and thus began speaking to his associates, the assembled demons. So it is very straightforward because he got angry. His brother is killed by the Lord. So he started discussing with his associates for the further planning. Let's see that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Srimad Bhagvatam is so graphic and vivid. It basically as if like a movie is going on, and we can feel the intensity of anger which Hiranyakashipu is having at this point, with his ferocious teeth and fuming eyebrows. Look at the detail in which Srimad Bhagavatam is going to even describe the expressions and the facial expressions and the eyebrows and the weapon he had. All this to help us understand, so that our mind can be focused more on this pastime. So that it also tells that it is not some fairy tale. All these details are written, that he was the son of this and the genealogical orders, etc., just to help us understand that this is our history. This is not some Tom, Dick, Harry, or some fictitious stories. This is our historical, So let's see what he spoke to the assembly with his mind and heart full of envy. Sundari Priya Mataji, you want to read?
Can I add one more point, please?
Yes, sir.
You can see that, as you explained, in the last chapter, Narad Muni had one shloka, and I think I had read the comment about it, that the demon has so much concentration on the Supreme Lord, so much concentration is unfavorable, of course, that we wish we have that much concentration in the favorable way. Narad Muni had mentioned in the previous chapter, one of the shloka. So that's what we need, that concentration in a favorable way. Just the demon is so much absorbed, thinking of how to kill, and their absorption is 24 hours is like that. So we as a sadhak, we come to that, hopefully that point in Raganuga mark, to think 24 hours, but in favorable way. So that's what is here. Here is we can see, as you mentioned, we can see how he is so completely absorbed in Vishnu in unfavorable way. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay.
I can read, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 4 and 5. Bho dhanavadaitya dvimurdham strayaksha sambara satabhaho hayagriva namoche paka ilavala viprachite mama vacha bhulom sakunadaya shruntana antanataram sarve kritam ashumachiram. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Danavas and Daityas, O Dvimurdas, Trayaksha, Sambara and Satabhahu, O Hayagriva, Namochi, Paka and Ilvala, O Viprachiti, Puloman, Sakuna and other demons. All of you kindly hear me attentively and then act according to my words without delay. So here we see how Hiranyakashipu, he showed quite, even in his, when first he was completely convinced and he was in anger and he gathered himself, but he portrayed that self, that here attentively, how even, what I'm going to say is very, very important, and don't delay and be attentive in what I'm going to hear. So that he, in all of this chapter, we'll see how what the characteristics of a he's showing leadership, because he knows exactly how to convince his people, and even though it is maybe in a demonic way, and he's addressing all these demons, but it's a quality that also comes from the Lord. So that's my understanding. Prabhuji, please explain further. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So he's gathering all the different demons, the army of demons he had. Prabhupada mentions in the word-to-word meaning, the Trayaksha. Aksha means eyes, Tri means three. So some had 3 eyes. Some were Shatabahu. Shata means 100, Bahu means arm. Of course, we have heard about the Sahastra Bahu also, who had 1,000 arms. And then Dri Murdha, 2-headed. Hayagriva, horse-headed. We have heard about the Hayagriva, incarnation of the Lord who saved the Vedas. But here, these are all different types of demons, which Hiranyakashipu was the king of demons, and he's addressing them, or he's about to address them, something important. So, let's see what that message was of Hiranyakashipu to all these demons. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Yes, Vijaya Mataji, you want to read?
Okay. Sapne Dhatitah Shuddhaiva Vatane Daitah Surud Patre Grahena Harina Samenatyu Pradhavanehi. Translation. My insignificant enemies, the demigods, have combined to kill my very dear and obedient well-wisher, my brother Hiranyaksha. Although the Supreme Lord Vishnu is always equal to both of us, namely the demigods and the demons, this time being devotedly worshipped by the demigods, he has taken their side and helped them kill Hiranyaks. Purport. As start in Bhagavad Gita, Adhyay 9, Slok 29, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. The Lord is equal to all living entities. Since the demigods and demons are both living entities, how is it possible that the Lord was partial to one class of living being and opposed to another? Actually, it is not possible for the Lord to be partial. Nonetheless, since the demigods, the devotee, always strictly follow the Supreme Lord's orders. Because of sincerity, they are victorious over the demons, who know that the Supreme Lord is Vishnu but do not follow his instructions. Because of constantly remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, the demons generally attain Sayuj Mukti after death. The demon Hiranyakashipu accused the Lord of being partial because the demigods worship him. But in fact, the Lord, like the government, is not partial at all. The government is not partial to any citizen. But if a citizen is law-abiding, he receives abundant opportunities from the state laws to live peacefully and to fulfill his real interests.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. So, this is Hiranyakashipu addressing the different types of other demons. that my brother has been killed. By whom? By Lord Vishnu. And look at the words here. Even a demoniac person like Hiranyakashipu knows that the Supreme Lord is equal to both of us. But this time, somehow the demigods have taken edge and he has favored them and killed my brother. So this point has come again and again, that the Lord is not partial. Here the analogy is given with the government, that the government punishes someone and kills someone or rewards someone. Why? The judge is not partial. The judge is just giving the fruit or the punishment or the reward according to those actions. These similar analogies are there, like a father or a mother are not partial towards the children. A teacher is not partial towards the students. Many examples are given. It is just how the subordinate receives that. There's a comment here. Let's read that. Both the demons and the demigods understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be the Supreme Master. But the demigods follow the Master, whereas the demons defy him. Thus the demigods and the demons are compared to the two co-wives of one husband. Each wife is Saptani, co-wife of the other. And therefore the word Saptanahi is used here. Sorry, Sapatani. Sapatani. Sa means together, or Patani. So the demons and the demigods are Sapatani. It's interesting. One wants to attack the husband, or so the other example, the other analogy here is that the husband, of course not in Kali Yuga, but in the olden days, where the husband could have more than one wife, the husband is not partial to the wife. I'm talking about the ideal scenario. But if one wife is more caring and kind, naturally there is more affection. And if one wife is least obedient, etc., and always trying to go against, then naturally the husband may favor the wife who is more obedient and caring. So that's the meaning of Sapatni, or co-wife. Any other comments or questions? Okay, so Joy Mataji, you wanted to read? Maybe you can read halfway through this purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Text 7 and 8. Tasya takta savavasya grinirmaya vanukasham bhajantam bhajam manasa balasya asrita attamanaham machula vinna grivasya bhurina rudrahina vai akshpriyam Tarapaishe Varataram me gata vayatha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has begun of his natural tendency of his equality toward the demons and demigods. Although he is the Supreme Person, now influenced by Maya, he has assumed the form of a boar to please his devotees, the demigods, just as a restless child leans towards someone. I shall therefore sever Lord Vishnu's head from his trunk by my trident, and with the profuse blood from his body, I shall please my brother Hiranyaksha, who was so fond of sucking blood. Thus shall I too be peaceful. Purpose. The defect of the demoniac mentality is expressed in his verse very clearly. Hiranyakashipu thought that Vishnu also becomes partial like a child whose mind is not steady or resolute. The Lord can change his mind at any time, Hiranyakashipu thought, and therefore his words and activities are like those of children. Actually, because the demons are ordinary human beings, their minds change and being materially conditioned. They think that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is conditioned also. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9.11, Avajananti mam mudha manusam tanum asritam. Fools deride me when I descend in a human form. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah, you can read one more paragraph and then Vipul Prabhu can read.
Okay, Prabhuji. Demons always think that Vishnu can be killed. Therefore, being absorbed in thoughts of Vishnu's form to kill him, at least they have the opportunity to think of Vishnu unfavorably. Although they are not devotees, their thinking of Vishnu is effective and thus they generally attain Sajujya Mukti. Because the demons consider the Supreme Lord an ordinary living being. They think that they can kill Lord Vishnu as one might kill an ordinary person. Another fact disclosed herein is that demons are very much fond of sucking blood. Indeed, all of them are meat eaters and blood suckers.
You want to explain? Our Vishnu devotees, Danvat Pranam. Hiranyakashipu accused the Supreme Lord of having a restless mind, that of a small child who can be induced to do anything if simply offered some cakes and laddus. Indirectly, this indicates the true position of the Supreme Personal Godhead, who says in the Bhagavad Gita 9.26, Patram pushpam phalam tayam yome bhakta prayachati tadaham bhakti uparitam asnami manaha. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit or water, I will accept it. The Lord accepts the offerings of devotees because of the transcendental love. Because they are in love with the Supreme Lord, they do not eat anything without offering it first to the Lord. The Lord does not hanker for a small leaf or flower. He has enough to eat. Indeed, He is feeding all living entities. Nonetheless, because He is very merciful and Bhakta Vatshal, very favorable to the devotees, He certainly eats whatever they offer Him with love and devotion. This quality should not be misjudged to be childish. The highest quality of the Supreme Lord that He is Bhakta Vatshal. In other words, He is always extremely pleased with His devotees. As for the word Maya, when used in reference to the dealings of Supreme Personality of Godhead and His devotees, this word means affection. The actions of the Lord to favor His devotees are not disqualification but signs of His natural affection. As for Rudhira, or the blood of Lord Vishnu, since there is no possibility of severing Lord Vishnu's head from his body, there is no question of blood, but the garland that devotes Vishnu's body is as red as blood. But the garland that decorates Vishnu's body is as red as blood. When the demons achieve Sajujya Mukti and leave behind their sinful activities, they are blessed by Vishnu's garland, which is red like blood. After attaining the Sajujya Mukti, the demons are sometimes promoted to the Vaikuntha world, where they receive the reward of the Lord's garland prasada. So, in this verse, we see that Hiranyaksha is putting wrong arguments against the Lord of being partial, though he is, as Prabhuji just mentioned in explanation in the previous verse, that Lord is like a judge. He's just judging who is wrong or right. He has nothing to do who is going to get punished or not punished, because of his own karma makes him to suffer. And here in part 2, Prabhupada clearly wrote it down that demons always think that Vishnu can be killed. So basically they are very wrong from the beginning. Vishnu is Supreme Lord. Everything comes from Him. Matta Sarvam Prabodhate. Everything emanates from Him. How come Vishnu can be killed? But due to the illusion that to kill Vishnu, they are always absorbed in Lord and unfavorably, and Lord, by His mercy, unconditional mercy, gives benediction of Sajuju Mukti. And here we see that Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they are none other than Jaya and Vijay and doing pastimes with the Lord, and ultimately from there they'll go to the Vaikuntha and receive Lord's Garland Prasada. But in the material world, there's demonic people who always are against the Lord and against his devotees. So definitely they'll suffer and they'll always think that Lord is partial. And they think that God is like childish, getting some fruits or money or hundi, God takes their side. But God is providing everything to all creatures He created, the free air, water, sun. So to show our gratitude, if we offer something to the Lord with our devotion, Lord accepts, because He is a Bhakta Vatshal. And He always wants to communicate with His devotees by the devotees' devotion service, and God reciprocates. So even the demons become a Bhakta Vatshal, they will get the same favor, but they are always thinking unfavorably and accusing the Lord. So that is the demonic nature that proves here from the Hiranyakashipu's statement. Back to Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice. So, I think both of you so nicely mentioned all the points. But one thing is very, very clear, which Hiranyakashipu is thinking Lord like an ordinary person. That like a child, you give him some laddus, Prabhupada is so nicely mentioning here. Like a child can be induced by offering some laddus and he will do what you say. Right? So the demigods, these people, they induce the Lord by giving some patram pushpam phalam thoyam, and then the Lord becomes henpecked. Which is actually true. Why? Because those patram pushpam phalam thoyam are offered with love. So, if one child is very caring and loving towards the parents, and if the other child is totally against, least obedient, won't the parents be inclined towards the first child? That they're not inclined. That's their affection. That's a word used here. So, that's the affection of the Lord. The Lord is Bhakta Vatsala. The Lord is Bhakti Baddham. He is bound by the ropes of the love of his devotee, and therefore he comes again and again. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Both are his mercy. But as you approach, so shall you receive. The demigods approach in a favorable way. They receive favorable mercy. That is deliverance, or to give pleasure. Pralad alad dadaine. And the demons, Hiranyakashipu Vaksha, he was tortured, he was killed. Because that's how he wants to approach. So he will reciprocate, the Lord will reciprocate with him accordingly. So the Lord is not partial, but he's reciprocating, or he's affectionate. The word used is affectionate, which is so true. And then the example of child is also very nice. But Hiranyakashipu is thinking that the Lord is influenced by Maya and he has assumed the form of a wild animal, boar. That's the problem. The demoniac people think the Lord as an ordinary person. And that is the envious mentality. And in this Hiranyakashipu, the story is we have to kill the Hiranyakashipu within. If I think the deity as an ordinary piece of stone or metal or marble, That's the Hiranyakashipu mentality, or that's the envious mentality. Or so thinking deity to be an ordinary stone or a metal is or thinking Krishna or to be his activities to be ordinary is also Hiranyakashipu mentality. So we have to kill the Hiranyakashipu within also, to be envious of Krishna, etc. So the demons think that the Lord is ordinary. And one other point is mentioned that demoniac people like meat eating, blood suckers, etc. And the whole this corona situation nowadays is, we all know, this is the outcome of the wild, in China they eat anything. They eat snakes, they eat bats, they eat dogs, cats, anything which moves, pretty much. And that's how the nature will give the reaction. We cannot get free from those. We have a choice to do what we like, but we can't control the consequences. Or in one way we can control if we make good choices. But we can't accept the half hen logic. Okay, I'll do what I want and I will, get what I want. No, that won't work. If we want to get what we want, then we have to also act accordingly. Or if we want to get the topmost destination, we have to act accordingly. If we act as per our own whims and fantasies, then we don't have a choice to control how the nature will react and punish us for the wrong activities. And this is basically the karmic reaction of killing of innocent animals. Many senior devotees have shared that. Tit for tat. As we sow, so shall we reap. So therefore Prabhupada has given us these principles of no meat eating, no intoxication, etc. Our Lord is like a baby who is induced by laddus and cakes and patram pushpam phalam thoyam. So why don't we also take that? We offer, induce the Lord and pull him towards our side, and then take Mahaprasad also. That's very sweet. Any other comments anyone has?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Just a couple minutes. I know the time is going up. Birds with the same feather flocks together. That's what it is here. In previous verse we saw all his associates. He's talking to his associates here, what they will have to do now. So associates are telling that, well, the Vishnu, you should worship Vishnu, because associates also ask a question. They talk with each other. Associates with you should worship Vishnu. Vishnu is he is the supreme. Then why want to kill him? Scripture says the Vishnu is supreme. Then Hiranyakashipu is saying, no, but he is famous as Paramatma, but he has given up his neutrality. That is his main concern, main point. He is thinking that he has given neutrality. He is more towards the demigods than the demons. So and also he has given up the position. So he is simply like an animal. And remember, before this pastime, the Lord had also come as a matsya and kurma. So he's thinking of that in that line, that the Lord is just he's like a ordinary person, and he's like a restless, like a child, controlled by the sweet. That's what this person is, Vishnu. And many times the acharyas, they take the meanings of the verse in a positive way. So the word is like in the shloka it says, the shloka says Machula Bhina Grivasya. It means that I will, with my trident, I will cut his neck, and the blood will come out. Right? That's what the translation is. But the acharyas are saying that they are taking other way. They are saying other way that when I will use my trident, then because my trident is material, that will break into pieces. Just touching the trident on his neck, his Lord's neck, then because this spiritual, the trident is material, the trident will break into pieces, but cannot enter the body of the Lord. And then he's saying that the blood I will drink the blood, because that's what demons like to do, as you mentioned. So here he is saying that the kumkum, which is coming with the body of the Vishnu, I will satisfy my brother with the kumkum coming from the body of the Vishnu. Rudira can mean kumkum according to the dictionary. So we will see this, and these pastimes, Srila Prabhupada loved this pastime very much, about this Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu. And this is going to be interesting next 10th chapter. It's so much philosophy we will be learning. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So we will stop for today and continue tomorrow with the next verse. Gantraj Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samavita Gaur Bhaktavind ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaः. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.